There are countless tips on how to answer all different types of interview questions, whether they're situational, hypothetical, experiential, but probably the most underrated questions that happen in an interview are the ones that the candidate asks the interviewer. This part of the interview is much more important than you're giving it credit for. We've heard more stories about candidates being dismissed for missing this key opportunity more so than anything else. So what you do at that moment of truth arrives when you're asked, "So, what questions do you have for me?" Matters. For starters, do not say, "I don't have any questions. I did a lot of research on your company." Really? After just a few hours of discussion and some Google time, you know everything about the company you're betting your future livelihood on? That doesn't make sense, right? So what do you ask? If the opportunity comes in early in the interview, a great question to ask is, what are the skills, the attitudes, and actions that make someone successful in this role? Guess what? The answer to this question is the answer to the test. And for the rest of the interview, you simply need to show with specifics how you fit that criteria. As a candidate interviewing for a position with a company, you should be interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. It's a two-way street, as you are committing to spend approximately 60% of your time with them for the foreseeable future. You want to make sure this is a fit for you, the same way they're determining if you're a fit for them. So ask them questions like, "Hey, what brought you to this company? What keeps you here? How would you describe this culture?" You also want to understand if they have the right to win in the market and what sets them apart from their competitors and what's holding them back. This is good information. Is not only good to know as you weigh your options, but also gives you great insight for crafting a great follow-up post-interview note. This can be asked simply, what do you see as the greatest opportunity? What is the challenge that is standing in your way? You can even add your research here to these questions by saying, for instance, is it the change in reimbursement to X product that's causing the problem? Finally, you have heard it said that you work for a manager, not a company. So take the time to make sure you're interested in working for that individual. Ask what excites them as a manager. Find out their pet peeves. There are many more questions to choose from, but if you take a step back and realize that there are some really important things you would want to know. Things like, hey, what it takes to be successful. You want to understand the heart of the culture. What makes this company successful? And finally, what drives the hiring manager? For a complete list, you can download a list of questions here so you will know